They said, in the stairwell and over coffee. Don't open the door at 2:43. It sounded like a joke until the night the tapping began. My apartment was small and quiet. The clock above the microwave showed 2:38 when the first sound came, a slow, precise tapping against the front door. It felt like a metronome counting me. At 2:41 it slowed. At 2:42 it stopped. When a minute slid into 2:43, a voice spoke through the wood and said my name in a way that held distance and longing. "Open," it whispered. I had heard the warning twice. Still, the deadbolt moved under my hand, as if I had no choice. The hallway outside looked dim and small. A scrap of paper was taped to the frame. Someone had written in block letters, "You opened it." The scent of lemon and old wood rose up like a memory. I shut the door and double-locked it. My phone buzzed with a message with no sender. "We remember. Don't open again." The text felt like a knuckle at the back of my neck. After that night, the building bent around 2:43. Neighbors grew careful. The woman in 3B avoided my gaze and kept knitting. Once she touched my hand and said, "Some doors are kinder to leave shut." I found a photograph under the table later. It showed a hallway like ours, wet with light. A child in a blue dress stood with her back to the camera. On the back, someone had written, "She always opened." The question of who wrote it grew in me. I thought of the doors people closed on their pasts. Rooms left, apologies unsaid, small cells tucked away. Maybe the house kept them like objects. The tapping returned at seasons. Sometimes it came as a single knock. Sometimes it matched a heartbeat. It never demanded. It spoke names, mine and others. Memories arrived with the knocks like bills and gifts. Once it asked, "Do you remember the blue dress?" And sugar in a bowl returned to me, bright and ridiculous. I tried patience. I sat on the floor and counted aloud as the seconds fell. 1, 2, 3. The sound at the door answered for a while. When it ended, relief tasted like cold coffee. Counting became a small defense. But curiosity turned into need the night. I found a child's shoe on my step. It was wet and small, with mud dried on the sole. No footprints led to it. My hands remembered a tiny shape when I touched it. I took the shoe to the woman in the laundry room. She held it without surprise. "She walked these stairs," she murmured. Then she left them open. Her eyes were mild and full of old stories. "If you open again," she said, "you must be ready to let the house remember all of you. Let the house remember." The phrase settled like dust. Memory keeps accounts. Some pages you can fold. Others refuse to crease. When the tapping came next, I did not move toward the door. I sat with the photograph and said the child's name aloud. "Lila," I said. The voice at the door replied softly, "We were waiting." After a while, I understood the door was not just a barrier. The building kept its stories and offered them to anyone who would listen. Some nights the knocking tested me. Sometimes it asked for answers. Sometimes it only wanted to be heard. One spring morning, the paper on my door was gone. The hall smelled like rain. I moved out that week. I could have stayed and learned the knocking's cadence, but some houses asked too much. I took the photograph and the shoe. I left the deadbolt set and the lamp off. Later tenants spoke of the tapping like a rumor passed along. Some said the sound moved down the block, finding new ears. Others claimed it stopped when I left. I do not know which is true. I only know what I learned. Don't open the door at 2:43. Not because a monster will rush in, but because some doors are entrances into things you once closed. They ask you to remember the pieces you thought lost. They do not always welcome you back. If you hear a knock at 2:43 and it says a name you thought forgotten, breathe. Answer softly or do not answer at all. Some questions demand a price. Choose which parts of yourself you are willing to open. There's one more detail I almost left out. The tapping learns you. At first it named small things I have forgotten. The crack and stair I tap on my foot, the smell of my father's jacket after rain. Those details made the voice feel like a key finding the right lock. Once, it spoke a name I had not said in 20 years. I was 8 the night I decided to leave some part of myself behind. I slid a small hand away and closed the door on what I could not carry. The house kept the sound of that hand. The knocks returned to ask for it. After that, the tapping changed. It became less like a test and more like an invitation. It wanted me to choose what to reclaim and what to leave buried. Choices are heavy. They can fold you or free you. The woman in the laundry room had seen both. She knitted with hands that had learned the world's small economies. How much to hold, how much to give. I speak of this because warnings are language. Don't open the door at 2:43 is not a superstition. It is grammar for saving yourself. It means there are hours that ask for more than courage. It means some doors are not entrances, but questions. Not every knock deserves an answer. Sometimes the bravest thing is to keep the bolt set and let the building hold what it remembers and choose who remains.